Hello, Internet. So I'm making this video really in response to two things. First of all, a couple of months ago, I made a how to build a rum palette video, which I'll link up down there somewhere, where I picked 4 bottles of rum that I thought would help build a rum palette. And one of the responses I got was just that a lot of the bottles that I picked weren't available to people. They would say, "Hey, this Hamden overproof stuff sounds really great. I can't get it in my state. I live in Ohio. I live in Pennsylvania." And I get that, right? I mean, that's, availability is a serious thing that we should be talking about in these things. Not everyone can get, super rare, limited released, rums or, scotches or whatever. And the other side of it was the 5 bottle challenge thing that's been going around, particularly in whiskey videos, but I've also seen some rum ones where you pick 5 bottles based on sort of particular uses and categories. I did give that one some thought, and I sort of kind of gave up in frustration because I sort of realized, well, the bottle I would pick to impress friends, like it just depends on the context. Like it just depends on who my friends are at that moment, who's coming over. So I really wanted to make a video addressing what I feel like are the shortcomings of both of those things. A video which is really dealing in a particular kind of context, answering a very fine-grained sort of question. So I've been wanting to continue my sort of building palettes series, to the extent that this is going to be a series. But I thought I would do something a little bit fun by sort of figuring out, okay, what if someone wanted to build a Scotch palette, a single malt or a malt whiskey palette, but they were stuck in a control state? How do you build a malt whiskey palette, based on what a state's ABC stores, alcohol beverage control stores, are offering you and what's on the price lists? So that's a bit of a fun conundrum. It's sort of fighting with one hand tied behind your back, So I decided for these purposes, I just picked the North Carolina ABC stores because I go to North Carolina a lot, or at least I did in the before times. And it's sort of right in the middle of the quality of choices. It's not as bad as some, but it's better than others. So it seemed like a good test bed to kind of start answering this question. So based on the North Carolina ABC price list, what whiskeys would I recommend to people looking to expand their malt whiskey, Scotch malt whiskey palate? So first thing to say, if you have never had a Scotch single malt or malt whiskey before, this video is not for you. Go out, pause this, hit the pause button right now. See that little pause button? Hit that. Go out and get yourself a bottle of Monkey Shoulder, or Glenfiddich 12 would work fine. Even I've got my Glengoyne 10 here. I don't think this is available in North Carolina. Glengoyne 10, fantastic. Something not priced in the stratosphere that's very simple, accessible, that's going to give you those sort of basic flavors of particularly bourbon barrel based malt whiskey. Go out and grab something simple, come back and unpause, and then you can watch the rest of this if you want to continue on in this flavor journey of sorts. Done? You've had your monkey shoulder. You've sort of learned. All right, let's begin. Okay, so the first bottle I would throw at people if they're trying to build a Scotch palette based on the North Carolina price list is Old Pulteney, 12-year-old. So the thing about Old Pulteney is, that it is a whiskey that teaches you how to drink whiskey, how to drink good whiskey. So this is a Highland whiskey from way north in the Northern Highland. It's the most northerly distillery on the Scottish mainland. You can go to Highland Park, and that's more northerly. So is Scapa. But on the mainland, you're stuck with this. Pulteney is quite a chameleon. It's quite a character. It's very light, but it has a real edge to it. So basically, if you try to like drink this stuff too fast, it's gonna smack you in the face. It's gonna kick you in the teeth and punish you. So immediately, this is gonna encourage you to slow the hell down. What you will find with this is it's very moody. It will change when you sort of from moment to moment as you open up the bottle. It has a very edgy, minerally, lemony quality to it, with a little bit of brininess sort of mixed in with this sort of lemony sour. But give it some air, give it some time and patience, give it a couple drops of water, and suddenly it gets just wonderfully light and fruity and delicate and textured. So basically, this is a whiskey that is going to punish you if you treat it, like an idiot. If you try to drink it like an ape or something like that, you will gently nudge you towards drinking it, giving it the time and patience and consideration and air and water that good spirits tend to need. It's also delicious, and it's still a good value. This is the old bottle. They've changed the bottle. Never mind, it's still good. So that would be my first choice. This is education in a bottle. That's what Pulteney is. Second, you need a proper sherry bomb. Now, you can get Aberlour Abana in North Carolina. It is extortionately expensive now. It's almost $100. But so as an alternative, I propose good old Glendronach 12. This is also a Highland whiskey from the southern-ish Highlands. Fully sherry matured, though, in Oloroso, Pedro Jimenez, never mind what those are. So what you're getting here is no longer American oak like what you're mostly getting with the Pulteney, and what you mostly had with your Monkey Shoulder. This is sherry cask, so you're going to get lots of dried fruit, pepper, and there's a kind of minerally, coal smoky character to Glendronach, slightly kind of a leathery thing too, which I think is great for someone who's trying to kind of push the envelope on their taste buds a little bit. So this would be my second pick. There's your sherry bomb. Okay, what do we need by that? After that, well, you need a cask strength whiskey. You need something that's been bottled at high strength. Usually that's going to be anywhere else. That would be the independent bottlers would be your first choice probably. But in North Carolina, you're not going to find a lot of independent bottling. So what I would suggest is Glenlivet Nadura. This is not the same thing. This is a sample I took from a tasting a couple of years ago. So it's not a full bottle. I apologize. I'm doing this a little bit in haste. This is also a 16-year-old. They've long since pulled the age statement off. It's now called the first fill or something like that. Still good. Carry on. So this is going to be like, standard Glenlivet, which is in that same camp as Glenfiddich and Monkey Shoulder, except they're bottling at cask strength, a little bit older and with, some fresher casks. So this is, what you get if you take, that kind of honeyed, appley, perry, slightly black, not white pepper driven flavor profile from the Speyside, all those standard whiskeys, and just, push it as far as it's going to go. This is that stuff. And I've always been pleased with these. I've always thought they were reasonably good value for what they're asking. And in North Carolina, this is a great option. So this would be my third choice. Glenlivet Nerdura First Fill, I think it's called now. Nerdura, I think, is natural. It's also unchill filtered, which is great. So is this. The Glendronach is also unchill filtered. All right. Fourth choice. You need a peat bomb. You need to have some peat, just if nothing else, to see whether you like it or not. So my choice for that would be Ardbeg 10-year-old. A little bit more expensive than it used to be. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it straight for the camera. Still worth it. by miles. So there's a lot of people whose, impression of the peat thing is, if you want to try people out on peat, try something of a lighter character. I don't know, Ardmore maybe, or I don't know, some of those other more lightly peated whiskeys, like Bowmore or something like that, which is not even, it's not lightly peated, but it's more light than this. And I would say, no, just throw them straight at something quality like this. What's great about Ardbeg is they have these big, huge stills, which creates a cleaner kind of spirit than you would get at Lagavulin or Lafroig. You're not going to get sort of hospital trash can notes out of this as you would with Lafroig. Although I love those. But, if you're only expanding your palate and you just want to know what peat is, this is a better choice. I would recommend that you try this in a bar, to the extent that there are bars open where you are, before you buy a full bottle. Because, if you hate peat, you're really going to hate peat. And if you love peat, you're really going to love peat. There's really no sort of middle ground there. But regardless, I think this is a great place to start. And so it would be my fourth pick. Fifth pick is you need something slightly older, something slightly more refined. And for that, I would throw you, again, as a sample bottle, Highland Park 18-year-old. So pretend there's a bottle of Highland Park 18-year-old here. Again, this is a sample from a couple of years ago. It's got some grody dust on it, too. Sorry about that. It's a little bit more expensive than it used to be, again. I think it's maybe $150 now. But, if you're looking to buy a slightly older whiskey, with that extra note of oaky refinedness, Highland Park 18 is still a terrific option. It is certainly a better option than stuff like Macallan. Some older whiskeys just get grotesquely expensive. So this is the one I would throw at you. It's lightly peaty again. So if you hate the Ardbeg because it's peaty, maybe look for something else here. But if you're into this, you'll be fine with this. This is not as peaty. It's more twiggy and sort of sea breezy, and has a sort of refined floral oaky character to it. It's delicious. I do wish it was cheaper, but as an 18-year-old whiskey from an official bottling, and by the standards of the North Carolina pricing list, the 18-year-old Highland Park is quite a bargain, I think. So that would be the one I would throw at you as number 5. So that's what I got. This, if you're stuck in a control state, these are some good options to look for. None of these are going to be hard to find. Save maybe, what would be the hardest to find here? Maybe the Glenlivet Nadura would be hard to find, but the others should be generally available. So that's kind of all I got. And I kind of want to make more videos like this, just like answering very specific kinds of questions about what people should, might be interested in. I think it's useful to try to supply a very specific kind of context like this. Anyhow, I hope this is useful. I enjoy all of these scotches very much, and thanks for watching, and cheers.